Notice that my words are as tasty as a good morsel of food. Yes, he did have a bit of an edge to him, a little bit of arrogance, but he's going to do something in his address to these men and to Job that is very valuable. He's going to defend God's justice, and he's going to encourage Job to look to God with the eye of faith. The first question that he wants to answer for Job and for all of us is this. It's a question you've asked, perhaps not in these terms. And here's the question. Is the God we serve a just God? Perhaps if I rephrased it like this, it would help. Is the God we serve a fair God? Is God fair? Earlier in his discussions with the three men who had come to help him, Job had denied the justice of God. In fact, here in verse 5, Elihu even reminds Job of that. He says, "For Job has said, I am righteous, and God has taken away my justice." Earlier in the book, back for instance in chapter 19, verses 6 and 7, Job cried aloud, "There is no justice." In chapter 27, verse 2, he said, "God has taken away my justice." Job felt that he had been treated as a sinner when he wasn't a sinner, and that God wouldn't
Are we
give him an
seeing
opportunity
warfare in
to
the heavens
explain
in this
himself,
photo?
which he did not understand. And Job believed the only way he could reconcile
These are
what was
happening
going
every
on
day.
in his life and the absence of any word from God was that God had just not treated him fairly. Please remember, friends, we look at this book from the perspective of having read the first two chapters. We know about the deal that Satan made with God concerning Job, but Job doesn't know that. He's never been told what's going on.
Cars moving.
He knows he's lived a life of integrity. He's not
See
violated
cars?
his relationship with
See the
Almighty
truck?
God, but all of these bad
Real
things have
pictures,
happened to
folks.
him. He's lost
Real
his family.
pictures.
He's lost his wealth. He's lost the admiration of his wife, and his friends have done nothing but trash him. And all of his days he sits on an ash heap outside of the city with boils from the top of his head to the sole of his feet. And all this is going on, and nobody says, Job,
We need to listen to God's word, folks.
Not a word.
Every bit of it's
from
true.
Chapter 2 until the end of the book, not a word from God. So Job figures, you know what, this isn't fair. That's what I'd be thinking, probably.
Every bit of it's true.
This is not fair. God, I've done everything
see that?
you want me to do. I've lived up to your standard. I've been a good husband, a good father, raised a bunch of good kids. And look at what's happened to me. It's not fair. God, you are not just. And Elijah says, let me help you with that, Job. Let me defend the justice of God. And in this chapter, he begins by presenting three arguments in defense of God's judgment. First of all, verses 10 through 15, he tells Job this, Job's friends. He says to them, if God is not just, he is not God. Look at verse 10, chapter 34. Therefore, listen to me, you men of understanding. Far be it from God to do wickedness, and from the Almighty to commit iniquity. Verse 12, surely God will never do wickedly, nor will the Almighty pervert justice. Do you remember back in the book of Genesis when Abraham was pleading for Lot and pleading for Sodom and Gomorrah? In chapter 18 of Genesis, verse 25, he made this statement. He said, shall not the judge of all the earth do right?
Amen.
Absolutely. Warren Wiersbe writes that if God is truly God, then he is perfect. And if he is perfect, he cannot do wrong. An unjust God, said Wiersbe, is as unthinkable as a square circle or a round triangle. God is always true to his righteous character, and he can never act.
See the evil over there, folks? See, it's just
31 times in
amazing.
The book of Job, God is called the Almighty.
False lying wonders.
And the possibility that
read it in God's word. Look it up.
And deny Job the justice that
lying wonders.
It's just not possible in the realm of Elihu's thinking. So he says, first of all, you guys, let me tell you what I know. If you say God is not just, if God is unjust, he can't be God.
God bless you all in Jesus Christ's holy and wonderful name. Read his word, know his truth. The time is drawing near. God bless everyone.
Now let me say something.